whether or not what we do on this floor was the last option, was the only thing we could do. Mr. President, I think as a Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, we could do better. Mr. President, you recalled, we had visited this matter. You that presided, you are presiding today. You, I can recall, you have presided over this matter more than 20 times. And we are not seeing visible results. Mr. President, it is also on record that between January to date, over 250 Nigerians were killed by these bandits. The question then arose to what is it that we are doing right and what is it that we are doing wrong? Why are we at every given time is lamentation and urging and calling on the federal government? I believe, Mr. President, with all sense of responsibility, it is our duty to raise germane questions to the executive, to the authority concerned. From the moment this matter started, as far back as 2014, how many recruitments were we made in our various security apparatus? How many military recruitments will we be able? How many police? How many DSS? How many NSGC have been recruited into the force? Believe me, sir, that if you want 1 million youth, by Friday you get them ready to be police, ready to be military, and ready to be DSS. We have not done that, not because this administration has not done that. It has become a recurrent dismal, even from the PDP days, that we don't actually match our words with action. Mr. President, we cannot, in all honesty, begin to sit down when our constituents are getting killed and we do not call a spade a spade. Additionally to the recruitment, how many times have we interrogated the executives from the kind of arms they are purchasing? How many times have we taken cognizance of oversight to the military, their wherewithal, their capacity? How many times, Mr. President, have we paid attention to the welfare of these people? Just last week, one of my constituents was killed. In Borno, I had to use my money to transport the family that he left back home. And as of today, I am following up 3 people that were killed in my constituency for their pension arrears, for their pension payments. Mr. President, there is no way with this kind of attitude. People got killed, they were merely mutilation. Their families were left stranded. It's a human thing. Other people in front line, how are you encouraging them? What protection are you giving these people? We are not losing this by ordinary civilians. So day in, day out, Mr. President, we are losing personnel in uniform. Soldiers, police, DSS. In spite of the fact that there are not many, yet we are losing them. Mr. President, let's search our conscience. Let's ask ourselves the whole truth. Are we doing the needful? And as a Senate, if as a country we are not doing the needful, we have options with this constitution to approach the executive and the powers that be and raise our position to them. I was trying to go through, finally, sir, I was trying to go through motions of this nature last year. And I said, even you have presided over 20. So we're in the new year again. Lamentation continues. Urging the federal government continues. It doesn't make a difference. Mr. President, I hope the leadership of the Senate and that of the House will sit down, take a holistic look at this matter, and tell whether or not we are doing the right thing. Thank you.
The last community, Kayama local government area of Kwara State. The Senate knows with profound shock and deep sorrow the gruesome killing of over 100 innocent persons in Waro community in Kayama local government area of Kwara State on the 3rd February 2026. Also knows that condolence visits by the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Deputy Senate President, governors and senators to condole with the government of Kwara State and the people of Kayama local government. The Senate acknowledges that prompt humanitarian interventions on the directive of the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, by National Emergency Management Agency, the Kwara State Emergency Management Agency, Red Cross, as well as the subsequent deployment of personnel of the Nigerian Armed Forces under Operation Savannah Shield and the Nigerian Police Force to the affected communities. The Senate is concerned that communities in remote and forest bordering areas remain vulnerable and require enhanced protection, early warning mechanisms, and rapid response to prevent loss of lives and humanitarian crisis. Accordingly, Senate resolves to 1. Urge the federal government through the service chiefs and the Office of the National Security Advisor to intensify efforts towards the safe rescue and release of all abducted women and children from Waro community. 2. Call on the federal government to redesign and comprehensively clear the Kanji Forest Reserve of criminal elements and consider the strategic establishment of security formations where necessary. 3. Encourage the conversion of designated and secure portion of the forest reserve into regulated agricultural zones with value chain economic activities to promote food security and lawful livelihoods. 4. Urge the federal and state governments to provide comprehensive support, resources, and well-structured programs for displaced farmers and residents of Waro community in neighboring areas, aimed at restoring their livelihoods, rebuilding economic resilience, and enabling them to regain sustainable economic stability. 5. Urge the federal government to urgently fund and complete the already awarded Wawa Kayama and Kayama Kishi road projects, noting that terrible state of these roads has made access to communities difficult and worsened the insecurity in the region. The Senate emphasizes that the completing these strategic routes will improve accessibility, enhance security operation, and promote economic and social development across the affected community. I so much, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Suleiman Umar Sadiq. Please, can we listen, please? Silence. This is a very important motion. A motion to address or to talk about the tragedy that occurred in the Kayama area of Kwara State, where several people were killed. So please, we need to listen, we need to be silent so that we can deal with this motion because of its importance. I call on my leader to second and then thereafter make his contribution, and then we call on later and then Senator Ademalera will also have the floor.
First of all, it was unfortunate that we lost so many lives and many others had injuries. We failed to protect our people, but it was not a deliberate failure. Our system at this moment, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, requires that we enhance it. Let me commend Mr. President for immediately directing for taking a battalion to that area to secure the environment. But what that also means is some loopholes, some weak points were created by moving out those soldiers and our armed forces. And therefore we need to work with the greater arm of government to insist on recruiting more and more soldiers and security forces. Mr. President, I once visited Kiama from Ilorin by road. I think we have sinned against Kwara North because a road.
Can you please keep the chamber silent, Chief Whip? Senator Orwell, please.
A road that is only 60 kilometers, Mr. President, will take you about 4 hours. 60 kilometers. The time has come, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, to address this particular situation because it enhances the chances of these criminals to attack, since motorists or the deplorable situation of the roads will not allow for escape. Mr. President, finally, let me say the Islamic society or Islamic community also has a responsibility here. Those who preach what is not Islam need to be dealt with by the Muslim community. Because if we allow people who preach what is never in the books, then it means we'll continue to have this kind of situation. And therefore, I was particularly saying the Islamic community itself, not government, because not everybody in government understands what happens. But we do, those of us who have that faith. So we should work to ensure that people are protected from being unnecessarily indoctrinated. And those who cause mayhem have no place in Islam. We all know that if you kill one person unjustifiably, it's like you have killed the whole world. That's the judgment in Islam. How can you kill anyone, whether that person is a Muslim or is a non-Muslim? It's never justified. So we also need to do something to ensure that people preach what is right and what is acceptable in the books. Lastly, I want to send my condolences to the Emir of Kayama and of course all our people in Kayama. May the souls of those who are killed rest in Al-Jannah Firdaus. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
I would have called you Sinusani because you come from Kwara, but
It is a known fact that the insurgents have been in Karenji forest for over 3 years. They came all the way from Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, and settled at Karenji forest. And they have been training their personnel there. And from there, they operate and destabilize Kebbi State, Niger State, now Kwara State. From what I understand, they are even moving to Ocean State and even Oyo State. So, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, it is now time for us to flesh out these insurgents. They are calling themselves Islamists, but there is nothing Islamic in what they are doing. Killing innocent people without any cause is un-Islamic, and it is not Islamic religion. So I therefore want to call on federal government to use all the available resources they have to flush out these bandits. We have the capacity, I believe, to deal with them. They have been there for the last 3 years. They have been operating and without any cost whatsoever. So let the Air Force, the Army, and the Forest Guard move en masse and flush these people out. This is the only way we can have peace in that area. Mr. President, this area is very, very fertile. Farmers from all over the northwest and north central do go there to produce food. And I'm afraid if we don't flush them out, it will seriously affect agricultural productivity in that area. And this will threaten our food security. I therefore want us to do all we can to ensure that we safeguard that forest. What the mover of the motion has not said is to observe 1 minute silence in honor of the departed souls. And I want to add that it's additional prayer. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator President of the Senate.
Earlier position on the insecurity situations in the country, which have got to do with not only the security operatives, but with ourselves as well. And this buttresses the issue of forest guards. As much as they are doing, and as much as we want them to do, we should know that these guys are proactive. They are not just a bunch of non-entities. What they are doing could be detrimental. Of course, they are detrimental to humanity, but they have their level of intelligence. Intelligence, both in intellect and intelligence gathering. I had earlier on written, and I've been pursuing it, for us to have a naval base within Umuahia district of Toto local government, because while you are operating to protect and take total control of the forest, they are using the waterways to transport themselves to wherever they plan to operate. When the Senate was screening the newly then appointed Chief of Naval Staff, I raised this, and he said there is a base in Makodi. Makodi is too far from Umuahia. Umuahia is very close to Lokoja. So if in between they can go on canoes, they can go on flying boats, from after Makodi they have a free ride to Lokoja, and from Lokoja they go on land to do whatever they want to do. So, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I am reiterating this position so that I get the backing of the Senate, and with this I pray that this brings to end to these experiences of insecurity we have and losing lives each and every day, which is spiritually a bad omen to us. Part of what we are experiencing today negatively that is or are not good to humanity is because of the spiritual unhappiness on us, because you cannot continuously be shedding human blood and expect good from God.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.